Welcome, welcome, welcome to Innovations and Best Practices for School Nutrition. Hi, y'all. I'm Maureen G Mulvaney, better known as MGM, and I have been in service to school nutrition for the past 30 years. What I'm most proud of is that I've spoken for hundreds of thousands of school nutrition professionals. You know who they are, those luscious lunchroom ladies and fabulous food dudes across the nation that are saving America one five-star meal at a time. Yay! I love school nutrition. I don't just love school nutrition, I adore school nutrition. And today I'm so excited because I have one of my dear special friends and one of my colleagues. Her name is Laura Bullene Jacobo, and she comes to us from California. And Laura, would you be kind enough to tell us all about what you did in school nutrition, what you're doing in school nutrition, and a little bit of who you are?
It was a pleasure meeting you at ANC, and your energy was amazing. And I knew right after that presentation that I had to talk to you in person. And so here we are, many years later. I've been in school nutrition for the last 22 years, and I didn't really even know the job existed. I saw a small ad in the classified white pages of a local paper, which tells you how long ago that was. And it said food service director. I love food and I love to direct, so it was a perfect match. So I ended up getting the job, and I really wasn't quite sure what to do or what to expect. And so I muddled through the first few months. Some of the things that I did in order to prepare myself for the job was I reached out to other colleagues, and that is so important. I reached out to people that I had known from a class that I'd taken, and I wanted to reinvent what we were doing. I didn't want to have it school lunch. I wanted to have delicious meals at school, and that's what we did. School lunch gets a bad rap, and unfortunately, we do have a stigma with us. And so I wanted to elevate this up into something to where it was something special. I know firsthand, you can't teach a hungry student. Their mind goes, and you just can't keep that focus. So that's kind of where my starting point was.
Well, and I know you as an extremely successful school nutrition director who ran a program that stayed in the black all the time you were there, and you did some outstanding things. So let's get right into it. Let's teach some of the new directors and the more mature directors. What were some of the most exciting things you did, and why?
Certainly, I think the number one item is to be flexible. You need to be flexible. You can't fit into the school lunch box. You've got to realize that there's so much potential and so many things that can become of this program. So when I first arrived, we were collecting lunch application. This was back in the late 90s. And so I saw the amount of work and tediousness that this encompassed. It was a full-time job to collect these lunch applications and then have to collect money. And are you reduced? Are you free? Are you paid? And it wasn't equitable. There were students that weren't eating because they were almost ashamed to be on the lunch program. So right after I was hired, I attended a new director's training, and I learned about Provision 2. So the minute I got back to my office, I started this huge process of getting our district Provision 2. So Provision 2 is non-pricing, meaning that all students eat at no cost, which levels the playing field. It doesn't matter what your income is. Food was available for you, whether you wanted to eat breakfast or lunch or an after-school snack. So the Provision 2 we started back in '98, and since then I had applied for multiple extensions, bringing us to where I have employees actually at my district when I was there that actually started in kindergarten when the Provision 2 began. So Woodlake does not know about applications for the free lunch program. Yeah, so I didn't give up on Provision 2. And another thing with universal meals, with the federal mandate with that, it's so important to look into either Provision 1, Provision 2, or community eligibility. Those are all three options for school districts that we're going to have to face in April.
Brilliant, because I'm going to jump in here because we know it was 1 out of every 5 kids in the United States of America is hungry. This is an outrage, 1 out of every 5. And since the pandemic, it's now dropped to 1 out of every 4. So I was so excited when Laura and I talked about this because it's a brilliant thing to do. So hear what she said. She not only started in, she learned everything she could learn about Provision 2, but she got waiver after waiver after waiver. That was the important thing to keep it going. So, Miss Laura, I would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You have been outstanding. I know why you're such a great mentor, because so many of the ideas that you've come up with are so incredible. And the fact that you ran your program in the black. And so I want to say thank you. And to my audience, like my grandchildren always tell me to say, don't forget to click the like button below, because we love to have those likes. If you have any comments or want to say anything about what you're doing that adds value to your school nutrition program, please comment below. I will have Laura's contact information up for you so that you'll be able to contact her, because she's an outstanding, outstanding mentor and passionate about school nutrition, just as I am. So once again, I'm Maureen G Mulvaney, MGM. I will see you for our next video coming up. I love school nutrition.